Hey guys, it's Alicia. So today we are going to be discussing hearing loss once again, but today we are going to discuss communication. As a deaf person, communication is so important. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about ways that you can communicate. Let's talk about how other people communicate with the deaf person. All of it. So let's get started, shall we? Okay, so the main thing that you need to remember is that it's okay to ask for help. As a deaf person, you shouldn't be afraid to ask people for help. It's not weak, it's okay. They'll help you if you tell them how. It really comes down to that. You have to be okay with saying, hey, I'm deaf and I'm going to miss something. Do you mind helping me? Be my ears in another way, right? You have to be okay with saying that to whoever it may be, whether it may be in a gym class, to your teacher, to a classmate, a recess type thing, whatever situation you're in, you have to be okay with saying, I'm deaf and I'm not going to catch everything. May you please help me? It's so important that we communicate, otherwise, we will miss things, and that happens, but it's okay to ask for help. If anything, it makes you stronger. It makes other people aware, like, okay, this person's all right with who they are, and they're willing to communicate and say, I need help, can you help me? It's not weak. It's not anything weak. It's a beyond weak. It's strong. It's motivational to yourself in a way. It gives you strength knowing that, okay, I can do this. I'm brave enough to ask, and it's good to ask for help is the most important thing to remember. When you're a child, I'm going to direct this part of the video to children. If you are a young child and it's recess time, just keep it simple. Be like, can you please help me here? I am deaf and I'm not going to hear someone if they're yelling for me all the way over there. Can you help me? The person will help you. Whether you're little, older, whatever age you are, the person will assist you. With children, it can be a little bit more difficult, but you just have to be okay with asking for help and be nice about it, right? Don't be like, you have to help me or else. Be more like, can you please help me? I would really appreciate if you help me, because otherwise I'm not going to hear someone from all the way over there or wherever. It's the same in gym class. No matter what age you are, if you're not going to hear the instructions to a sport or hear the coach yell and be like, do this, do that, have someone be your ears. It's the simplest way to handle it, and that's the only way to handle it, is to be okay with asking for help. And I'll keep repeating it throughout this entire video. It's so important. Now, parents, let's talk, shall we? You need to set the example for your child. If your child has been taught not to ask and to remain silent, they won't ask. You need to make sure they know how to advocate. They need to know that it's okay to ask for help and that you're not weak. It's okay. Ask if you need it. Even at home, if you aren't going to hear your parent yell for you from across the house, tell them that if they don't know. Make sure your child is aware that it's okay. Ask for help. Be nice about it, though. Don't sound bossy to your friends. Just say, please, may you please help me here, otherwise I'm going to miss things and I won't catch anything. Make sure your child knows that, and they aren't weak for asking for help. They're strong by doing that, and it might put a little more courage in themselves to be okay with being deaf, because one of the main barriers a deaf person has is communication, because we literally don't have ears, right? So communication is just impossible. So by telling them it's okay, you're allowed to ask for help, the day will just be better for them. Teachers are a great way to communicate. As I've said in videos before, teachers are one of the main way that we need to communicate. By telling the teacher, I'm deaf, can you do this, this, and this for me so I hear everything? Just be open about it. Don't be afraid to ask. That is so important. And parents, the most you can do, because it is up to them to communicate, is just teach them how. Tell them you do have a voice, use it. Be okay with using that voice. It's so important to advocate for themselves as children, and it'll help them into adulthood. When I was growing up, my mom set the example. She told me, you have to communicate, you have to tell people, otherwise you're not going to be able to advocate for yourself. And by doing that, look where I am now. I have a YouTube channel about hearing loss. It's as simple as that. Just be okay with saying, can you please help me? It's really that all it is, it comes down to. As a person gets older, you're gonna start needing to ask for more help. College, high school, school in general, the workplace is another one, right? Telling your boss and other coworkers, I'm deaf, may you please help me, I'm going to miss things. Be okay with asking. Yeah, just be all right with it. That's all it comes down to. And once you're okay with it, it gets easier. Asking for help just becomes second nature. And you're okay with it because you know by doing this, you're going to get something out of it. You're going to be able to move on in the world, and people will help you naturally after that. Because I'm so open about my hearing loss, when I ask for help, people volunteer willingly to be like, yes, I'll help you, Alicia. It's okay. We got your back. Which is motivational to know that people are willing to help you. And that's so important as a deaf person. It's just, you need to be able to communicate. And it really is one of the main barriers people have is communication, right? So it's so important. Now, the other thing we need to talk about is how to communicate with the deaf person. Single-sided is different than bilateral. Bilateral, it's much more, you need to be within eye contact of the person, make sure they know you're speaking to them, and they might not actually hear you. So it's good if you have someone who knows sign language, or if you know sign language, that's even better. But for single-sided, don't yell at the person from across the room, right? They're not going to hear you. If they're wearing headphones, tap them, make sure they know, okay, you need to move on now, we're talking. You really have to make sure they know communication's happening here. Don't talk from over there. They're not going to hear you. Go up to them, tap them on the shoulder, and communicate. Simplest way. Don't yell to them. They're not going to hear you. Don't mumble it. They're not going to hear you. In loud environments, same thing. Don't yell at them from across the room. Go up to them and be like, hey, let's talk, right? Okay? Just be nice about it. Be willing to be like, we're talking now? Yeah? Okay, you got me? Cool. Dark rooms. Don't try to communicate with a deaf person in a dark room. Well, I shouldn't say that. You can communicate with a person in a dark room. Just make sure they know the conversation's happening. Because in a dark room, you not only lose the hearing aspect, you lose the visual cue that someone is talking. So it's really important to be like, I'm talking to you, Alicia, can you hear me? That's really important. Yeah. Communication, such an important thing. I can go into much more detail on this topic, obviously, but really the most important thing for the deaf person is being okay with asking, and for people around them, don't be scared to talk to the deaf person. They want to talk to you. They want friends. They want to be noticed, right? Everyone does, especially when you get to grade 7, 8, those awkward years. It's so important to be like, okay, they're not scary and mean. They're not ignoring me. They just can't hear me. That's all it is. And it's okay to let them know, hey, do you want to talk? Great, let's talk. Just don't yell at them. And also don't muffle your voice like this. Otherwise, they're not going to hear you. So, yeah, that's the video, guys. Yeah, don't be scared of the deaf person. Deaf people, it's okay to ask for help. You're allowed, I promise. You're not weak. It makes you strong. So, yeah. I think that's the video for today. I did a lot of repeating, I know, but it's really important to get that point across, and I hope this helps you guys in one way or another, whether you're learning to help communicate with a friend of yours or a family member of yours that is deaf, or whether you are the deaf person and you need to know how to communicate. I hope this helps. Teachers, parents, family members, all of the above, it's up to you. Help your child know communication is okay. You're their role models, and you need to show the example. Set the best foot forward and show it's okay. You're allowed to talk. Yeah. I'll see you guys in the next video. I hope you enjoyed. I have a very special video coming up soon for a friend of mine. So look out for that one. I don't know how many videos there'll be in between that. We still have to communicate about the video, but when it does come, I'll let you know. So thank you for watching, everyone. I hope you're having an amazing day, afternoon, wherever you are, and I'll see you next time. Bye, my friends.